Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I wasn't planning on doing a video outside today because it's been in the 50s the last 2 days at the end of May, like craziness. But I did feel called to. I did one video already today, and I did feel called to do a couple more. I've been wanting to do one of these videos. I'm going to do 2 videos. I've been wanting to do one of these videos for probably 3 months now, and I finally was like, I might as well do it. I've had the runny nose all day, so if you see me blow my nose, that's why. It's been running all day. I don't know why. All of a sudden I woke up this morning, couldn't breathe, couldn't stop sneezing, and my nose has been running all day. Could be the drastic change from 90-degree weather last week to 50-degree weather in the last couple of days. Who knows? But what I was going to do is, right now I'm going to do a spread. It's connecting with your spirit guide spread. And I actually just saw the girl that Emerald Lotus that does these spreads on Pinterest. I just ran into her channel. I didn't know she had a channel, her own channel. But I ran into her channel earlier, and this was one of her top 10 spreads. And I'm like, and I realized I had not saved this. I had seen it before, but I hadn't saved it before. So it's www.emeraldlotus.ca. And I don't know if I got a kind of a glare there, but that's what we're going to do today, is connecting with your spirit guides. And I've already drawn the cards. I just haven't looked at them. And if you watched my video earlier today, sorry about that. I put a poll up to see who, to let you guys decide what deck I'm going to use this week. And I actually posted it on a couple sites on Facebook. And surprise, surprise, the Guardian Tarot one. So that will be the deck I'll be using this week. It is published by Red Feather. It is a beautiful little magnetic box here. And look at the little ribbon there. That's so adorable. It looks like almost like a little jewelry box. So cute. And then these are the backs, and they're smaller cards. They are exactly the same cardstock as the Tarot of the She, if you have it, but it's a smaller size. So it's like the New Chapter Tarot size deck with the Tarot of the She cardstock from Red Feather. But these are the backs. And I did edge it in the pink and blue. Really came out really cool. Can't see it really well in there, I don't think. But it came out really nice. And then as a added bonus, we will be using my Roots and Wings mini deck also. And I pulled a card from that as well. So I apologize. I'm going to have to blow my nose. So I'm sorry. So for the first question, we have card to represent your guide. And I've got the 9 of Cups. And if you guys have heard me talk about this deck before, this deck specifically, it's the only deck in my collection that I have. And I have an extensive collection now. Somehow it got out of hand. But this specific deck, it's the only deck I have that makes me feel like I've actually chosen a deck of guides. Or like these are people that live amongst us, kind of like the way I view ghosts. They just vibrate at a different frequency, so we don't see them walking around all the day, every day, but they're living their life right alongside us. Because they vibrate at a different frequency, we can't always see them. And that's how I feel about this deck. It's very alien. It's almost like we're invading their space. They were here long before we were. Kind of feeling I get with this deck. It's very weird because I've never felt like this with any other deck. But back to and so I thought this was perfect, especially since it won the poll to use for a guide, spirit guide, oracle deck or spread. So the card to represent my guide would be this 9 of Cups. I'm noticing more the churches down here. There's a church here, and then a lighthouse here, and then the directions makes me feel like I'm at a crossroads. And I feel like as a Virgo, I'm always at a crossroads, if that makes any sense. And they're always there to nudge me in the correct direction. They're the one that is ultimately the main guide that is like, this is the path, and they keep auto-correcting me. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. They keep auto-correcting me when I decide to veer off that path. So I find that very, very fascinating. And it's not lost on me that there's a church and then a lighthouse, because I'd much rather be at the lighthouse. I love lighthouses, even though I'm not really a I'm more of a magical forest kind of person. I'm not a watery person. I've always had a fascination with lighthouses. So it's almost like I'm either choosing religion or choosing my life path. Interesting. So for question 2, oh, you know what? I just got kind of a hit. It's like what society is expecting me to do, the direction society is expecting me to go, and the direction I'm actually should be going in to fulfill my life's purpose. I love that. Wow. Chills. So for question 2, a message your guide would like to give you in this moment. And I got the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is always, usually, especially in the RWS, someone carrying a heavy load uphill, carrying a heavy burden, and it's an uphill battle. But I have since learned, because I have many other decks that they're either taking a rest and the bundle's on the ground, or they've made it up the hill, made it where they need to go, and the bundle is down and they're resting. And that's kind of what I feel here is, and I don't know why I just heard you can't see the forest through the trees. Wow, I'm getting this like, whew, it's deep, y'all. It's almost like if you keep dwelling on the burden you're carrying, it's going to take longer to get there. It's going to take longer for you to get to where you need to go to put it down. Wow. Crazy. And that's the message in this moment, and I totally agree with that's probably the message I should be getting right now. The longer you dwell on this burden, the longer you're going to have it. Short and sweet, to the point. Got a bunch of ladies walking their dogs now. Okay, number 3, something your guide has been trying to convey to you that you have not been receptive to in the past. I feel like this is going to hurt. I laugh because the Chariot is my soul card. And every time I have some kind of question related to this lately, I'm pulling this card. So that's interesting. Just a second. It takes 3 ladies apparently to walk 1 dog. Crazy. So something your guide has been trying to convey to you that you have not been receptive to in the past. And I have the Chariot. Now, right off the bat, I'm noticing this is not your typical Chariot. He looks like he's actually had surgery. He's stitched up here where his heart would be. And he's got a sword in his hand. And I'm like, what's this all about? What is this all about? And I just feel like, okay, so last year was my Chariot year. The Chariot is also my soul card. So I felt like I was tripped up in the reins in the beginning of the year of the horse and buggy, or the Chariot. And the Chariot was just dragging me through the whole year. And it was getting me to where I needed to go at a very fast pace. And no matter if I wanted to take a break or not, it was just going. And I was just like, no matter what I did, I hit my head on the dirt, mud, crap, all along the way. It was just, we got to get there. It's like a runaway train, a runaway horse and buggy. And since I moved out of that Chariot year, and I think it was actually more so doubly feeling that because it was my Chariot year and the Chariot is my soul card. So it's kind of like a double whammy feeling. And this year is my strength year. And literally as soon as December hit, it was like this change in like a change began. You could start to feel a shift. And I said, with strength being my year card this year, that even with what it wasn't my year yet for the strength card, I was feeling this feeling that the Chariot was like, we took over the reins because you weren't doing anything. You weren't doing anything. You weren't moving. You weren't making any kind of forward motion at all. And the Chariot had to take over. It had to get me through the year just to wipe the slate clean and get me to my strength year, because I would need it. And so that's what I feel like here is this. And what's the question again? It's the nudging one, right? Something your guide has been trying to convey to you that you have not been receptive to in the past. And I kind of started feeling that in December, right before January hit, when my strength card kind of took over, literally at the beginning of the year. I was feeling this like, yeah, the reins were running away with me, but I always had that choice to stop. I always had the choice to pause for a second if it was becoming too much. But if I stopped for too long, the Chariot was going to take over again. And that's what I feel here. And I feel like this is telling me you stop fighting. You stop fighting for what you want. You stop fighting for things you need in your life, things you need to heal, to move forward. You stop fighting. And that to me is what the sword in here represents, is pick up your sword. At least take some action. Don't just stalemate. And then and it looks like, it looks like almost sigils too, because that looks almost like a bird foot. And then here it looks, I don't think you can see it good, but it looks like a pitchfork. Like Zeus's, is it Zeus? Poseidon's staff is what that looks like here. And then there's another symbol here, and then there's an X here, like X marks the spot where his heart should be. And again, I'm getting this head and heart. You need to combine head and heart, and the head is swords. There's a sword in here. Not that makes any difference, but I feel that, again, where it's saying head and heart, again, you need to really let it sink in to combine head and heart. And just move. Just move. Do something. So that's interesting. Number 4, how to be more open to messages from your guide in the future. And I got the Hangman, suspend. What I was saying here, like this is saying move, but this is saying you can pause. Don't linger in that pause, because then the Chariot's going to be like, nope, we're not having this. You're not doing anything. There's a balance there that needs to be struck between head and heart, between movement and stagnation. And I think I've been, to put it bluntly, cowardly, because if I don't move, then I can't screw up. And that's exactly to the point how I feel about this card. The Hangman is, you get in that, and that's one of the reasons I love the New Chapter Tarot. My 8 of Swords, my favorite card in any deck. It actually has what looks like the Hermit in the 8 of Swords, but he's surrounded by the swords, he can't move. And it's like you get suspended so long in this one area that you're it's a trapping of your own making, and it's very hard to break free of that. And that's what I see in this suspend card, this Hangman card. Interesting. It's all stuff I already know. What is this guide helping you with on your path? And I got the 5 of Wands. Wow. This card is my stalker forever. Like, this is year 3. This card has stalked me. Normally in the 5 of Wands, you see 5 people battling or competing. In my, what do you call it? I just thought of the deck here. Oh my gosh. I can't think of the name of the deck, but I have a deck, the Super Linares Tarot. In that deck, it looks like the same person repeatedly in different poses competing with themselves. And that's what I see now in the Five of Wands, is that one person competing with themselves over and over and over with different personality aspects of themselves. And I just find it fascinating that that's the card that came up. When asked, what is the guide helping you with on your path? It's helping you overcome this Five of Wands. I feel that with every fiber of my being. It's helping to overcome, because I'm a Virgo. Everything has to be perfection. And if there's a part of myself that isn't perfect, then it's in this competition. And then there comes the stagnation, where I'm like, the stagnation takes over, because I'm like, well, why bother trying if I'm not perfect? So I'm trying to, this guide is trying to help me overcome this Five of Wands, because it leads to the stagnation, which leads to non-action. Interesting. Wow, I'm chills. And then as an overall message from my guide, intuition. It's a bear, but it's intuition. And it's like, just like what I just said, I already knew all this pretty much. Why are we pulling cards? We know. The guide is like, you know this. You knew to use your intuition, you know. Interesting. So let's go to the book and see what the book says. I'm intrigued, because I've rarely used this deck, and this is why, because it's deep. It hits layers, man. Nine of Cups, and it is colored. It's a tiny thumbnail, but it's colored, and it's beautiful. I'm going to have fun with this deck this week, I feel. Super, super lot of fun. Or get my ass kicked, one of the two. If I can find the cups. I think they're at the end, yep. 9. That's the queen. Going this way. So for the question, card to represent your guide. I got the 9 of Cups. It says the guardian watches from the skies as the traveler approaches the intersection along the road of life. At various points in life, there are choices to be made, decisions that must be made on one's own, with only a gentle supportive stance from others. Although you may feel that you need guidance more than ever at this moment, the choice of where you go from this point is yours to make. Understand that those who love you are most certainly watching over you, but they acknowledge that you are at a time in your life when you need. The wind just really picked up. You need to make your own decisions. No one else is responsible for the events that happen. They are of your own making. Make them match your highest possible happiness. In the reverse, this card suggests that making a decision right at this moment may not be the best thing to do. And that again pulls into the suspend card. Interesting. You need to give yourself more time and not push the issue just to have a decision. 10 of Wands. The guardian experiences a... Oh, let me give you the question first again. It was a message your guide would like to give you in this moment. The guardian experiences a true sense of being completely immersed in the situation with no separation from the experience in sight. This card may indicate that you are imprisoned in your responsibilities by the need to survive. Wow. There is currently a sense of lack of self. Matters have become too much to be constantly involved with at all times. You want to pull away, however, the moment you do, all the cards will fall. And that's kind of what I was saying with the Chariot here. Wow. Best to start considering a plan to help you disengage from the situation. In the reverse, this card suggests that you have made your own prison. You are firmly embedded in the situation. Whether you feel a sense of purpose or frustration in the moment, you have made it into what it is. And that's what I was saying is, like with these other cards, you can get stuck in the, like the Eight of Swords. You can trap yourself in this own making. You can have so much of this burden that you're like, I gotta get there. But the more you dwell on it, the longer it's taking. But you also, and I've said this before, you also don't realize no one's stopping you from putting it down and taking a break. before you pick it back up. So that's good advice for myself that I need to remember as well. There are times where you can lay your heavy burden down or even ask for help. And I'm horrible at asking for help because I'm like, if I can't do it myself, it's not worth doing. So yeah, that's a good hit right there. Crazy. Card 3. Something your guide has been trying to convey to you that you have not been receptive to in the past. Chariot. This is crazy. In those moments of fear of the unknown, the chariot avails himself to cut in the source of the issue. He forges inexplicit fears, or he foregoes inexplicit fears as they do not provide growth of any sort. Upon his blade is the runic letter Tyr, symbolizing protection. So it is a runic letter on his chest. While upon his chest, Gibo and Algis have been tattooed. So there's 3 symbols, and they're all like runes. Ewaz and Fiyu appear on his right arm. Oh, I see it here now. Yeah. I don't know what those are. Ewaz and Fiyu. Okay. Upon his left there are the runes symbolizing Tyr, the Norse war god, and Ing, god of protection. Huh. Protected with charms and spells of old, he brings forth an old magic in times such as these. I love that. Oh yeah, there's marks here and marks here. I've never noticed those. Interesting. So he's got all these protections on him, so that he can forge forward without all the bumps in the road. It's quite interesting. Sun popped out right in between the trees again. This card signifies that you may need to face your fears and find the basis of such an address. Find the basis of such and address them directly. You have the necessary tools to do what is right in your arsenal, whether it is to face that a love is now moving out of your life, or to answer that call from your doctor in regards to your latest test results. That's creepy because I've been nonstop seeing the doctor, still waiting on a few tests right now. You need to address that which you most fear. Understand that you can only fight and strive for a resolution when you know what you are fighting for. Interesting, because I was getting just pick up the sword and fight, like I'm not even fighting anymore. And he's like, understand what you're fighting for. Oh, wow. No one has ever won a war against an invisible enemy. Wow, I got chills. In the reverse, this card suggests that you are avoiding the real issue. You are misdirecting your energy and looking to little things to distract you from the larger issue, which is true. I do that. This may take the form of worrying too much about someone else and their issue instead of your own. Time to reflect upon what it may be that you are dodging. Very interesting. Card 4. It gets deeper and deeper the more I read into this. How to be more open to messages from your guide in the future. And I've got the suspend card, or the, you know what it is. Hangman. The guardian watches as his yellowed leaves are now ready to fall one by one. That's sad. He is lost in a hypnotic trance, and the ripples dance upon the water surface as each leaf hits the surface. His concept of time has been suspended. Wow, so he's even lost time because he's so enamored with these leaves falling into the water. The card represents that for now, this moment with inactivity is the best thing. It is a call to pause, hold off on an action and decision as the timing is not right. During these moments, embrace each memory, hold them dear, use this time to process and lay the past to rest. Wow. And again, we've got this, what exactly are you fighting for? Are you fighting a losing battle or purging the past? Wow. In the reverse, you continue to relive the past, and the past is reliving you. Oh my God, I've never thought of that. I have full body chills right now. I'm going to read that again. In the reverse, the Hangman, or the suspension card. In the reverse, you continue to relive the past, and the past is reliving you. Wow. Crazy. There's a pattern that is occurring and needs to be addressed. I'm pretty sure that said that here too. Wow. It's like a double whammy. So for the last card, the Five of Wands. It's like right in my face. What is the guide helping you with on your path? What is this guide helping you with on your path? Oh my gosh, it's like really in my face. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move just a little. Five of Wands. What is it helping with me with on my path? Five of Wands here. It says, holding a photo of a time gone by, this guardian reflects upon the image. Traces of sadness trickle through her mind and branches at the notion of times past. And if you're looking, this is the suspension card. This is the Five of Wands. This looks like what this used to be. It looks like a fountain down here. That's interesting. It's all dried up. Interesting. The creative fires that contributed to the past no longer represent the person in the photograph, nor does she hold those past flames. She has grown in her divine understanding and understands her place within the whole. I can't see nothing now. The prior passions that once ignited the soul no longer are sufficient to inspire. The basis of this card is to have gratitude in all that has come before. Without that experience, you would not have come to where you are now. Interesting. So it's telling you to reflect on that past and then, yeah, let it go. But appreciate where you've come from. At this time, recognizing that which does not fan the flames of creativity and passion will need to be redefined. When this card appears in the reverse, it suggests that you are reflecting more on the past than living in the present. Put down the reminders of what was, for they will always remain a part of you. Wow. Lift up your eyes and be a part of the present. That is beautiful. Beautiful, if not, hard-hitting. So let's see what the little book says on the Roots and Wings intuition. And it's going to be just keywords here. That sun's killing me. It's literally just a space like that in between the trees, and it's yet right on me. Intuition. Trust yourself. This is your natural tendency to a behavior or way of thinking. Not a feeling, but your natural state. No need to overthink the situation. And as a Virgo, that's easier said than done. So that is my tarot spread I wanted to share with you guys. I thought it was pretty neat, connecting with your spirit guide. You can see that because the sun's crazy. I would love to see if somebody else will do this spread. If you haven't already done the spread in the past, let me know. Send me a link, whatever. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And sorry about the sun. You guys have a good night. Bye.